I hope everybody is doing good by the grace of Allah. Everything is good on my end. Alhamdulillah. All thanks and praises be to Allah. Today I'm gonna make a short reminder. Sorry about this. I'm gonna be giving a short reminder. Also, it's been a while since my latest video, and I apologize for that. I've been busy with worship and other things, and I haven't had the time to release anything. But hopefully today, by the grace of God, it'll be this one topic will be appreciated. So today, I wanted to make a short video reminding us as Muslims that we're never supposed to use bad words, right? And this is quite obvious to the majority of people, even if you ask atheists and other people, such as Christians and other denominations, other religions, they tell you the same thing, that bad words are a bad thing. And that's why we do not allow bad words to be spoken around children, right? So if bad words were fine, then you shouldn't have an issue with your child saying a bad word, right? And obviously, some words are bad, while some others are worse than others, right? And obviously, there is the biggest bad word one could say, the one that starts with F, right, as a letter, which I would never speak, God willing, because I would never utter with my mouth because it's wrong. But why should we as Muslims not use bad words? So God tells us in the Quran, in I believe, I forgot the verse, so don't quote me on that, but he reminds us not to give each other offensive nicknames, right? So even offensive nicknames that are not necessarily bad should be avoided. So let alone actual bad curse words, right? Actually, even the term curse words is a curse word, right? So it's completely wrong. We should never curse. And Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, he tells us that the believer is not the one who uses curse words, who is not the one what's the term, who curses, who abuses people with his tongue, right? And that the believer, the one who wishes to enter paradise, should protect what is between his jaws, i.e., his tongue, and what is between his thighs, right? I believe that's how it goes, i.e., his privates. So don't use bad words as a Muslim, especially because it is actually completely against Islam. And you hear sometimes some people just having a friendly discussion, a conversation, and then they drop in a few bad words here and there. That is completely unacceptable. And even Allah tells us in the Quran that in paradise, right, which is our goal, right, which should be our number one goal, to be in paradise. This is the whole reason why this test is basically is what we are facing, right? We are living. So the people of paradise, so basically they would not hear any bad word. So we know for a fact that in paradise there is no bad word, because bad words are wrong in the presence of God. Now, let me ask you a question. If you're so eager to use bad words as a Muslim, right? So what if I were to tell you that your boss would be listening, right? Whenever you look at the workplace, you don't hear a lot of bad words. On the opposite, on the contrary, whenever the boss is near, people make sure to control their words, their tongue, their mouth, watch their mouth. So why? Because they wanna give the best side of their personality. They want to try their level best when they're around somebody they respect, your parents, your boss, whatever it might be. But what about God himself, who is the holiest, right? Who is basically hearing all the time. God forbid. It's not listening, it's hearing, because God doesn't need to listen. He just hears everything. So he hears you speak this profanity, this profane speech, right? And you don't even care. That doesn't make any sense. Second of all, you use that mouth to glorify God by reading the Quran, by praying, by remembrance of God, dhikr, right? Remembrances, saying these words of remembrance, and then you just start cursing like a sailor. That makes no sense, right? Now, of course, we can go through a few bad words, but majority of people who really are trying their level best to basically practice Islam properly. And to be Muslim means to practice, by the way. There's no such thing as non-practicing Muslim. I already spoke about this, but I mean practicing what God told us to do. So a Muslim, somebody who wants to be a Muslim, would avoid words like, the F word and the S word, but they would say other words I've heard, and I have to speak out against it because that's wrong. So one of them is the A word, right? Which refers to, private parts, so that should be avoided as well. We also have, the 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 D word is not such a bad word per se, I believe, but it's a curse word. So sometimes people even curse themselves. May Allah protect us. They say, this, and then they say them, right? That is so foolish, right? Why would you say this? Don't curse yourself, right? This is so wrong. So the D word is kind of a mixed bag, right? I mean, to be damned means to be basically cursed by God, so removed from his mercy. So it's not a bad word per se, but it should be avoided. Sometimes when, people, drop something or stub their toe or whatever the case may be, they're like, right? Don't say this. Say, glory be to Allah, subhanallah. Say, Allah is the greatest, Allahu Akbar, right? Say things like this. Say things that bring you closer to God, as opposed to words that are basically curse words, right? Also, the term hell, right, is basically, we as Muslims shouldn't be taking this lightly. Sometimes we just like, some people would just use the word hell as often, very often. Instead, we should use the heck word, right? What the heck, right? What the heck do you? Well, obviously, we shouldn't really be. Obviously, it depends on the context, on the conversation topic, on the circumstances, but heck sounds like a better alternative. Darn sounds a better alternative than the damn word, right? And last but not least, we have the CRAP word, which is a bad word, right? I know that many people don't consider it a bad word, but it is, right? It's foolish not to consider it as such. I mean, you know what the CRAP mean, right? It basically refers to excrement, right? So we should never use that word. Sometimes we just like, we're speaking and then we say this movie or whatever the case may be. I don't know. That this thing is absolute CRAP. That's wrong. Say trash, say garbage, say rubbish. Don't say the CRAP word. And by the way, those who don't know, it's actually a kind of a softer version of the S word, right? So it's still bad. So we shouldn't be using this, right? That doesn't make any sense. We are Muslims. We shouldn't be using such bad language. And last but not least, I think we went through it all, more or less. I mean, there are many bad words. Some of them that are just disgusting. Some of them are absolutely reprehensible. But obviously, those are the main ones that we should never use. And this is a reminder to myself as well. I don't swear. All thanks and praises be to Allah, right? Because I know that it's wrong and Allah is helping me, right? I'm not just here boasting around. I'm just saying to you that I don't swear. I don't use bad words. And people who know me would testify to that, because using any bad word is wrong, especially if I call myself a Muslim and then I go around and I curse and I swear. I mean, what the heck is that, right? What in the world is this? It's like, makes me look like a fool, honestly. So please bear that in mind. Take heed in that. Advice, don't use bad words, right? If you're too shy around